Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about domestic abuse, specifically about domestic abuse against men. When we were in Professor Duntley's class talking about battered women syndrome, the questions that keep popping out of my mind was basically if a man goes to court and says that he's been abused for his wife for 4 or 5 years, and in a spur of the moment to protect himself, he shot his wife, would he still be seen in the light of battered woman syndrome? Or would his defense basically be, you shot your wife, you're done, you're going to jail, even though you're being abused? So this is the way that I wanted to take my paper. I wanted to see what was the research on that topic. And what I found out was something very interesting. There is a lot of research on the topic, but at the same time there is not a lot of research. Meaning, the research that is out there, their samples are taken from women's shelters. So there is a huge bias on the topic, because all you're getting is research after research about women being mistreated by men, but there is very little to no research about men getting battered by women. So you would ask yourself, well, why don't men actually report that they're being abused? Because who wouldn't? Well, the reasons why men don't report are very varied. Most of them involve fear. Fear of being seen as cowards. Fear of being victimized by the police. Fear of not being taken serious. I mean, we see men as being this macho men, providers, and the whole concept of a woman can actually hit a man and victimize him, it's a concept that a lot of people don't really tie two and two together. So a lot of men feel that if they go to the police, they're going to be laughed at. There's even one instance mentioned in the research where a man was taken into custody and basically treated as he was being a perpetrator. Now, how would you feel if you're saying that you're being abused and basically they're telling you, hey, we actually don't think you're being abused, but we're thinking that you're being the perpetrator of the abuse? So that basically will go and not make you want to come forward and say that you're being abused. After my readings, some recommendations came to mind. One of them was more support for men coming out saying that they've been abused. Women can go to shelters. The government helps them out. They have psychologists waiting for them in the shelters. Now, that doesn't translate into men. Basically, if men go and said, hey, I'm being abused, what's their support group waiting out there for them? There is no support group. So that basically discourages them even more to go and say, hey, I'm being abused. Another recommendation is to spread the word about this. Violence, specifically spousal violence, is not about a sex issue. It's not men against, like, women being abusive to men, women being abusive to women, vice versa. It is not like that. It is an issue of violence. And basically, after my research, I have come to believe that battered woman syndrome should not be called that way. I mean, like I said, it is a violence issue, and it should be able to be given to men as well as to women. Also, one of the very interesting things that I pointed out in the research is the fact that the feminist movement was the one that pushed for battered woman syndrome, and one of the researchers argued that if men come into the picture, then battered woman syndrome would actually lose the prestige, very loosely quoted, that would have, you know. So, like I said, basically spreading the word and getting this topic known, getting known that men could actually be abused just like women can. So that's basically my presentation. You can leave your comments below. I'll totally rock and be awesome. And thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.